Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of Fight Back Media, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. We hope that you are well this lovely Monday morning. It's a little overcast and drizzling here in West Central Florida, so maybe it won't be 1,000 degrees. No, it's going to be 1,000 degrees with 97% humidity today. That's how it's going to play out, because that's how it plays out here. It's hell. I know it's only March, but it's really summer. Like I told you last week, I could smell summer coming because people here in the South can smell the weather. It's one of the things that we grow up being able to do. Rain, humidity. We can smell it. So I smell summer. The normal pattern for weather is that it's hot in the morning and then it rains in the afternoon. But sometimes it switches it up, which you think is going to keep things cooler during the course of the day. Nah. Oh, no. What happens is it gets boiling hot and the humidity stays because now the ground is just wet enough to steam. Yeah, that's how it is. And that's just after pollen season. Yay. So if you're looking to come here from New York, just stay where you are. If you're looking to come here from New York because Governor Cuomo is, using the whole vaccine passport thing, yeah, just stay there. Just stay where you are. The weather is too rough for you. You wouldn't survive it. So anyway, good luck. Our 300th episode is going to be on Friday. It's going to be an audio and video episode. We hope to be able to do both ends of them live. Yeah, and I know those of you who listen are like, oh, every time I know, but I have a plan. I sat up till the wee hours of the morning, coming up with a plan. Now I just got to make sure the technical side of it works. So I think we can do it. I've got 2 laptops. I got a pretty good internet connection. We're going to go for it. How about it? You know us here at Fight Back. We're just going to go for it. Today, you may have already heard the EverGreen, the ship that's been stuck in the Suez Canal sideways, is freed, and it's they pulled it to the side so they can inspect it to make sure that it's seaworthy at this point. And that's and so. That doesn't mean that traffic is moving yet. It's got to go, it's got to get a good ways down the canal before traffic can move again. So it should, by all indications, and we'll do the story, things seem to be better. Our second story is that there's a special ops command hired a diversity officer for special ops for the military. Now that was in... and we'll talk about this in a little bit too, that was in the defense authorization budget that Donald Trump vetoed and was overridden. And now he's the dude is being investigated by the Defense Department for some pretty egregious tweets. I love when the left turns on itself. I just love it. Okay, and a new series that we're starting called Monday Musings. We're still waiting for our friend Tim Bryce. You guys know that Tim. We talked about this. Tim Bryce lost his mother a couple of weeks ago, and we are going to add a segment. We're still waiting for him to come back. The Bryce is Right is still a segment on this program. We're not stopping it. So, but we're adding to it. Monday Musings by yours truly. And we'll be doing that today too. And we hope that you get something out of that. Alrighty then. So listen, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the Morning Report right after these messages. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. We are in tumultuous times here on the internet. Many platforms are finally taking this opportunity to rid themselves of conservative voices. A lot of you are learning how this internet game is played and are wondering if there is a place for you online. Well, yes, there is. freedomforum.website is providing a place for everyone to be, including conservatives. freedomforum.website is dedicated to the First Amendment and free speech for everyone. Join us there and speak your mind. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com.
A conservative who seeks truth over the conventional statist wisdom, coming to you from the southern headquarters of fightbackmedia.com, your host, Willie Lawson.
All righty, welcome back. We appreciate you being here today. Thank you ever so much. Oh my, and the hits just keep coming. The story about the boat has been out there for a long time. You know, this is 7 days. The EverGreen, which was going through the Suez Canal, it's a canal that connects Asia and Europe, or the Middle East and Europe, for the most part, is a huge shipping channel, and because it's a shipping channel, it's a generator of worldwide income, really, worldwide income and worldwide trade. It's funny with all this talk about green energy and la 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 la. What can actually shut down the planet is that if the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal both closed, where ships run with diesel fuel can't move. Yeah, so we talk about windmills and we talk about hybrid cars and all this nonsense when the guts of the worldwide economy is oil still, are fossil fuels still. The guts, the most basic of the infrastructure for a worldwide economy, still based on fossil fuels. None of these ships are big sailing ships. None of them. None of them are electric. None of them are hybrids running on electricity. None of them. All of them run on diesel fuel. Every stinking one of them. So, and when they're just sitting out there waiting to go, millions of gallons of diesel fuel. Some of them running because some of them have to run generators on the ship because people are still on the ship, running the ship. So there are generators running, and then so there's fuel being expended, and money just being puffed out the top of these huge ships. So the EverGreen is one of the largest of the container ships. Good news is that rescuers fully dislodged the EverGreen from the banks of the Suez Canal on Monday, sending the skyscraper-sized container ship on its way after 6 days of drama that paralyzed the vital shipping route, according to canal authorities. Why does this matter? The massive maritime traffic jam wreaked havoc on global trade and resulted in one of the largest ship salvage operations in modern history. One ship wreaked havoc on global trade. Shippers with containers carrying oil, commodities, consumer goods were forced to reroute around the southern tip of Africa, adding weeks and tens of thousands of dollars, fuel, salary, you name it, of additional costs of their voyages. The Suez blockage was estimated to cost $400 million per hour in delays to goods shipment, according to CNBC. $400 million an hour. That is mind-blowing. Now, we have to understand the EverGreen, the ship is one of the largest in the world, and it ran aground in the canal on March 22nd, I guess that was actually 7 days ago now, after getting caught in poor visibility and high winds from a sandstorm. Just pushed it right to the side. Now, there were pictures, and a lot of people were saying, it doesn't seem that stuck. Well, in any canal, you have to understand, it is the center of the canal that is the deepest part. So, if you think about it, if the ship stays in the center of the canal, it's plenty deep enough. But if it gets blown to the side, it's not as deep. So it's easy for it to run aground. Just because it didn't run outside the canal doesn't mean that it wasn't stuck. I know there's going to be people who say, I don't believe it. It didn't seem that stuck to me, blah, 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 for whatever conspiratorialist reasons. But if you know anything about canals, it's the deepest part in the middle that they've dredged. They haven't dredged the whole thing. It isn't a square or a rectangle. It's a V. And that's how they dredge it. Grabbing, using the big tools and grabbing down deep and pulling out to the side. You got it? So, it is entirely possible if that ship isn't, especially as big as it is, isn't right down the middle of the canal, which is what this is why these ship captains and pilots get paid so much money. In the Panama Canal, they actually have a system. I think they probably do. They might in the Suez Canal as well, but it doesn't seem to have helped this particular ship. If that's the case, I know in the Panama Canal, in order to get through the locks, they actually have drivers who board the ships and pilot them through the locks because it can get really touchy. If a ship got caught up in one of these locks, and basically now you have to go around the Cape of South America, just like some of these ships now decided that they would go around the Horn of Africa. And when they come around to the west side of Africa, they now risk dealing with pirates and the like. I wonder if some of these big container ships really have to worry about pirates, but you never know. Any disruption is expensive. This is how big the ship is. It's 220,000 tons, and it's a quarter-mile long. It's operated by a Taiwan-based EverGreen Marine that has been heading from China to the Netherlands. Dredgers and tugboats were able to partially refloat the ship early Monday before freeing it from the banks hours later. So they got it moving a little bit this morning, and they finally got it going. Now here's the big picture. About 30% of the global container shipping volumes, 30%, a third of global shipping containers pass through the canal, which links the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea, a vital connection between European and Asian markets. Maersk, one of the world's largest container shipping companies, said in an advisory on Monday that the 6-day blockage has triggered a series of disruptions on global trade that could take weeks, possibly months to unravel. Now, you're talking about shipments left factories and the like, and were expected to be in a place at a particular time. And now, because they didn't get there, factories have to delay manufacturing because the container ships that they normally put these things on that they were expecting to be back are still in transit. You can see how this is a hot friggin' mess. The company added that it could take at least 6 days for its current queue of ships to pass through the canal once fully cleared for operation again. All the ships, 300 plus of them, that are waiting to pass through the canal, it could take all week to clear that backlog. You know? And this is from Axios, another site, another source, and it asks the question: the trouble in the Suez, like the pandemic, underscores the fragility of an economy built on just-in-time shipping. You understand? There you go. All right. Well, thank goodness. And well, the best thing is, thank goodness that that has been taken care of. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. We are in tumultuous times here on the internet. Many platforms are finally taking this opportunity to rid themselves of conservative voices. A lot of you are learning how this internet game is played and are wondering if there is a place for you online. Well, yes, there is. freedomforum.website is providing a place for everyone to be, including conservatives. freedomforum.website is dedicated to the First Amendment and free speech for everyone. Join us there and speak your mind. One of the things that I get asked most is, where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area? Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop, at 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com.
A conservative who seeks truth over the conventional statist wisdom, coming to you from the southern headquarters of fightbackmedia.com, your host, Willie Lawson.
All right. Thank you ever so much for hanging out with us today. I also like to remind everyone that today, March 29th, is the National Vietnam War Veterans Day. So we like to thank all our Vietnam vets for their service. And Vietnam was different, obviously, because of the time it was in, and because of the warfare. It was a lot different. It was a lot different, and it brought a number of challenges, not only in the way it was fought. It brought a number of challenges to our brave men and women because of the aftermath. It was different. And it wasn't different in a good way. So I think that we all, not that we don't owe a debt of gratitude to any other veteran of a foreign war, but we really need to investigate and learn about Vietnam and the impact that Vietnam had on the people who fought, multiple tours, the intensity of the fighting, all of the stuff that went around it, and how it ended, and how these brave souls were received or not received by basically an ungrateful country full of whiny, college-fed brats that might have been your grandparents or your parents. Yeah. So again, thank you for all of those that were in Vietnam. And the Vietnam War started in the actually early 60s. Parts of it actually were getting going in the 50s and went through to the early and mid 70s. And cleanup operations lasting a little longer than that too. So it was a long time. It lasted a long time. It's brutal. God bless you, Vietnam vets. All right. And that leads to our military story. You know, whenever, and we've said this, you know, everybody's said this numerous times, whenever people start to use the military as some sort of social experiment, it's not going to work out. The military is in our lives for two reasons: to kill people and break things. Period. Let's just, you know, my thought, and I've said this here on this program from this desk more than once, if we're going to risk our blood and treasure, then there needs to be clear objectives. And for me, the only real objective is to kill everybody you need to kill, break everything you have to break, and put up the flag. Period. Win. That's the only thing that winning looks like to me. If you are going to risk our precious young lives on some foreign soil over some nonsense, over some diplomatic BS, no. Let people know early. If we get involved, we're going to go in and win, and the land will be ours. We will just start taking up land. So Gulf War I and Gulf War II, if I had fought them, gas prices would be 39 cents a gallon now. I'm just saying. Now, I know not everybody likes that. But if we're going to risk precious young American lives, we shouldn't be risking them over some diplomatic BS and then trying to look a certain way to the other nations. Just let everybody know that if the U.S. gets involved, They're just going to go in, kick everybody's ass, and take the land. That's all, think about it. That's how it is. And if that is the only objective to winning, we should be a lot more careful about the situations that we involve ourselves in. Shouldn't we? Especially militarily. Right? That should make us a lot more careful and a lot more selective. And it should make the world be a lot less or a lot more reticent to asking for our help in situations. Because if you ask for our help, that's the only thing you're going to get. So if Kuwait, you need help, are you sure? Because we're going to come in and win and put up the flag. That's it. You are mine's now. You are mine's own now. Dun 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 dun. You belong to us now. You are now U.S. territory. Congratulations. Anyway, so these social experiments that happen in the military are always problematical. But this new round of wokeness in the military borders on the comical. In a Daily Wire story, the Department of Defense is investigating the head of the U.S. Special Operations Command Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Right? Posting anti-Trump content to social media. The Pentagon announced last week that it had hired Richard Torres Estrada to serve as U.S. SOCOM's head of diversity. Like, SOCOM needs a head of diversity. Why? Because it's part of the woke culture. SOCOM welcomes our new chief diversity and inclusion, our chief of diversity and inclusion, Mr. Richard Torres Estrada. We look forward to his contribution in enhancing the capabilities and effectiveness of, I'm not sure what that means, through diversity of talent, helping us recruit the best of the best. So U.S. SOCOM posted on Thursday. The announcement sparked backlash online as old social media posts from Torres Estrada's Facebook page began circulating online. One post from June 2020 featured a side-by-side photos of former President Donald Trump holding a Bible outside of the St. John's Church in D.C., I remember that, and a doctored image of Adolf Hitler making it look like he was holding a Bible. Estrada captioned the post, "Here I leave this and slowly retire to continue working from home." So Estrada makes this weird, awful comparison to Donald Trump in front of that church and Adolf Hitler. I don't know why everybody, but I guess because in our consciousness, Hitler was the worst person that ever walked the face of the earth for us. Now, if you know anything, you know that almost cursed, but you know that Stalin was worse, right? You know that Mao was worse. You know that Stalin and Mao killed more people, right? But it's Hitler for us, right? It's Hitler. So a spokesman for U.S. SOCOM confirmed to the Daily Caller News Foundation on Sunday that the Pentagon opened up an investigation into Torres Estrada over his social media posts. "We are aware of the situation and the command has initiated an investigation." U.S. SOCOM spokesman Ken McGraw said U.S. SOCOM did not immediately return requests for comment from the Daily Wire. Daily Caller? Left? Yeah, we'll talk to you. Daily Wire? Right? we're not going to talk to you. Anyway, since President Joe Biden took over command in the military, the U.S. Armed Forces have increasingly prioritized diversity and inclusion as part of military readiness. Diversity and inclusion as part of military readiness. What's the military's job? I just told you. Here's a quiz. Fill in the blank. The military's only jobs are to, and. Very good. Say, let's do that one more time. Let's do it out loud. Or you can whisper it to yourself as you're listening. The military's job is to do what? Kill people and break things. That's it. Not diversity and inclusion. Earlier this month, military officials attacked Fox News host Tucker Carlson after the conservative commentator questioned the military's priorities for championing a new flight suit for pregnant women. Why are we talking? And basically, again, if you know what the military's job is, why are we talking about flight suits for pregnant women? Why is that a priority? Why are we talking about it? Why are we announcing it? Now, we're not talking, again, we're talking about pressurized suits for fighter pilots. That's not what we're talking about. But why is it? Why? Aren't there, again, I want the military to be focused on those two things that we talked about. And basically nothing else. Basically nothing else. That's military readiness in my brain. Carlson's critique sparked blowback from the leadership of the Pentagon, as the Daily Wire reported. Fox News host Tucker Carlson took flack from the Pentagon on Thursday for warning that the military worries too much about gender and diversity in the armed services, while China is increasingly asserts its dominance in the world. John Kirby, the press secretary for the Department of Defense, accused Carlson of using his show to denigrate the contributions of women in the military and to say Chinese military is catching up to the U.S. military because it does not allow women to serve in a percentage of them as the United States does. According to a story from the DoD News titled Press Secretary Smites Fox Host that Dissed Diversity. What kind of language is that? From the Department of Defense News. This is the headline. Press Secretary Smites Fox Host that dissed. What? Diversity. Okay, so you wanted that alliteration? Yeah, not professional. In the U.S. military. Diversity does not outrank the ability to and. The U.S. Marines launched an investigation after the official Twitter account for the U.S., the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force Information Group posted. Several tweets attacking Carlson and deriding him as a, quote, boomer over his remarks. These are the people who have taken over the military. What it looks like in today's armed forces at Tucker Carlson, get right before you get left. This is from the second MEF IG posted along with a photo of a female soldier carrying another, according to the Washington Examiner, and another post responding to critical. Okay, so the military officials are now in this Twitter battle with a Fox News host. You've got to be freaking kidding me, right? Not on your list of things to do in the military is to get onto Twitter battles with news hosts. Concentrate on the ability to kill people and break things. Period. End of story. So we'll see how this investigation goes. My guess is nothing happens, because this is where they want the military to be. They want the military, at this point, Biden's military wants to be anti-Trump. So my guess is that nothing happens. Zero. That nothing happens. Nothing comes out of this. All right, we're going to get another little break before we finish up. Thank you ever so much for spending some time with us. We're going to come back with Monday Musings and take notes, because it's going to be very, very important. Stuff I need you to do. We'll see you in a little bit. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop, at 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is, where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area? Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. We are in tumultuous times here on the internet. Many platforms are finally taking this opportunity to rid themselves of conservative voices. A lot of you are learning how this internet game is played and are wondering if there is a place for you online. Well, yes, there is. freedomforum.website is providing a place for everyone to be, including conservatives. freedomforum.website is dedicated to the First Amendment and free speech for everyone. Join us there and speak your mind.
A conservative who seeks truth over the conventional statist wisdom, coming to you from the southern headquarters of fightbackmedia.com, your host, Willie Lawson.
Welcome back, and thank you. I don't have any theme music for this. I don't have any, I don't have any lead-ins for this. But it's something that I think that I need to start doing, and we'll start doing it every Monday. It's called Monday Musings. I was having a conversation with a new friend. I talked a little bit about that last week. And it came, what I'd seen came to mind. We were talking about Colin Kaepernick and this whole standing or sitting or kneeling during the national anthem at NFL games. And of course that expanded to NFL games, that expanded to college games, that expanded to the NBA, and now even some high school teams, both football, basketball, soccer, or whatever. And a lot of conservatives wonder how this happened. And they also don't take any responsibility for it, which I find amusing, really. Sad, amusing, troubling. I've looked at this picture recently, within the last couple of days, and what I see in the picture where we first see Colin Kaepernick sitting down during the national anthem, I'm looking at the sideline where he is not. And everybody I can see in this wide angle shot, players, coaches, trainers, media people, executives, because there are people who are in suits, everybody is standing. Everybody around Colin Kaepernick is standing. Now, if you're a grown-up and if you've ever been to a professional football game, if you were to take a look around the stands, people are talking, people are eating, people are sitting, people are out standing at the beer stand getting beer. It isn't like everybody in the whole place stops, puts their hand over their heart like they're an eight-year-old in third grade, and dutifully sings the national anthem and recites the Pledge of Allegiance. That's not what's happening there. There is a dull roar. In every professional stadium I've ever been to, especially outdoors, during the national anthem. Always. Always. So, if you're trying to say that Colin Kaepernick is disrespecting veterans and the like because he chose to sit and then later kneel for the national anthem, you better look at your neighbors. You better look at season ticket holders. You better look at the people who attend these football games while you're standing there. All your focus on Colin Kaepernick. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't agree with Kaepernick on a cornucopia of things. The only thing that I do agree on is that he indeed has a right not to stand if he chooses not to. And everybody has a right not to stand if they choose not to. That is the tough part about freedom and liberty. People have choice. People can do or not do. But here's what happened. And I'm entitling this, Stop Putting Air in the Left's Balloons. Stop putting air in their balloon. We see this, and conservatives, maybe conservatives, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even use that word, just get offended and just go bananas. Absolutely bananas. Drawing attention to what I just said. There are, in the shot, you can see 70, 80, maybe 80 people, and one dude is sitting down, and he's kind of behind this big container thing where I'm sure they store stuff. And if you're not looking for him, you can't see him. And I'm sure if you're in the stands, unless you've got binoculars, you can't see him at all. And the right started pumping helium into that balloon as quickly as they could. I'm going to say it. The biggest injector of air in that balloon was Donald Trump. That was it. If I was an owner, the owners ought to fire themselves, sons of bitches. Nothing had to be said. Here's what you say. Although I vehemently disagree with the display, I have to as vehemently respect and defend Mr. Kaepernick's right to do so. Freedom, liberty is hard. It's tough. And you have to be mature. We all do. and start looking at our own behavior. That would have gone a long way, but that's not what happened. We put air in the left's balloon. Now, this latest thing that I don't really give a rat's ass about, I really don't. This rapper Nas, I wouldn't know a Nas tune if it fell out of the ceiling and hit me on the head. Oh, this is a Nas song. I wouldn't have any earthly idea. If the dude came to my door today, this morning, literally, if he came to my door this morning, I would probably say, no, dude, we've already got yard people. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it. Be careful out there. That's probably, I mean, that's me, though. And it may be because I'm just old, but whatever. But this whole thing about this sneaker and the devil, and now what I do know is that apparently this dude came out as bi to get attention, and it didn't go over as big as he'd hoped. So now the next thing is now he's got this devil shoe. I don't care. And for my Christian friends who are listening, we need to be more concerned about what God is doing than what the devil's doing. Period. So why do you care? Why are you surprised? Why are you pumping air in that balloon? Please stop posting crap about that on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram and on Snapchat and on TikTok. Stop it. Stop pumping air into their balloon. Because the left's not going to pump air in that balloon. They're not. They're only going to comment on your comment and keeps that going, keeps that trending. You want to make sure that their nonsense doesn't trend? Delete it. When you see it, delete it. On my Facebook page, I'm telling you what I've done is every time I see a post on that, I just hide that post. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care what the devil's doing. I only care what God's doing. And I won't pump air into that balloon. I know, that's tough, isn't it? It's tough. But what I tell my students is that if it's been done by man before, it can be done by man again. And the simple fact that if I can do it, you can do it. That's what that means. That's what that means. That's the end of Monday Musing. We got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care. We will see you when we see you. Friday, episode 300, a video, audio, simulcast extravaganza with our friend Paul Swanson. We'll be back tomorrow. See you.
We appreciate the time you took today to listen to the broadcast. Please check the links below on how to further interact with the FightbackMedia.com network. Please remember to like and share this broadcast with your like-minded friends and family. Also, we'd appreciate your subscription to the broadcast, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified when we upload new content.